So volleyball, they were high risk, but if they put them down to intermediate if they're wearing face coverings. So we're basically testing basketball weekly, cheer weekly, and everybody else is 25%.
We'll start at the guard, a 6-foot junior from Eagle, Idaho. Mangum averaging 9.5 points a game. Kaylee Carlson, senior guard from Smithfield, Utah, will start at a guard position as well, averaging 9.5 points and 5.5 boards on the season. Mariah Martinez at the point, a senior from Sandy, Utah via Dixie State. Martine averaging 7 points through first 4 games this year. Also about 4 assists per game. Sarah McGinley up front, a 6-foot senior from Fort Collins, will start alongside Hunter Krebs, a 6'1 senior from Hyde Park, Utah. And Krebs averaging 9.5 points and 5.5 rebounds per game for head coach Shelley Gerard, the head coach of the Griffins. So again, Westminster playing just 2 games in the month of December, a loss at Black Hills State 71-68. They lost at CSU Pueblo 64-51. Actually got the win in that contest. They had 2 games canceled on Monday and Tuesday of this week, so this will be just their 3rd game of the year. And for Chadron State, they come in 0-4. They lost to Colorado Mesa in a lopsided fashion on December 12th. They lost at UC Colorado Springs by 5 on December 18th, and then a couple losses this week on Sunday and Monday, falling to Colorado Mines 77-61 and to Regis 71-62. Lance, some keys, some thoughts as we get ready to go on this one for a Saturday.
Sure, we're going to hear a lot of repetitive things during these COVID times, especially when you're hearing analysis from former has-beens like me. But if you're Westminster, the home team, this is your first home game. This is really kind of the start of the new season. So you got to have a lot of energy. So my key for the Griffins tonight is energy, hustle plays, 50-50 loose balls. See what kind of energy the Griffins have. For Chadron, they got to knock down the 3. They had pulled into a couple of close contests, and when they stopped hitting threes is when the other teams pulled away in a few of their losses. So the 3 ball from Chadron and energy from the Griffins as we're here underway.
All right, Griffins in white, Chadron State in the road dark uniforms. And a pull-up 3 by Martine. First bucket of the game goes to the Griffins. They lead 3-0. Mariah Martine, so far this year, just 1 of 2 from beyond the arc in the first 2 games. Scoring 7 points a contest, but doing a great job on the boards at 7.5 rebounds per game. And the answer as we come the other way. Hazel Fui, a transfer from Salt Lake Community College on the west side of the metro area, but hails from Logan, Australia. Ties her game at 3.
Well, good start for both teams, hitting that first shot in the game you haven't played in a while. It's got to feel good.
Krebs going to work inside, just smooth in the lane. Krebs over the top of her defender. Another key, Lance. I'm looking at the rebounding numbers for Chadron State. They've been outboarded 44.8 to 30 rebounds per game. That's a pretty hefty negative number of minus 14 in rebounding through the first 4 games for them this year.
Sure. As a jumper miss there from the elbow, Griffins with the rebound. They are a small team, even for the RMAC standards. This is a team that is very, very guard heavy. So they're going to have their guards help with all kinds of rebounds, especially on the defensive end.
Jory Peters picks up the loose ball. Transition bucket ties our score at 5. Well, talking to the Chadron State, they've had, I believe, a positive test almost every week at times. So they've had some issues. The Griffins had some positive tests. That's why they lost games earlier in the year against MSU Denver and Colorado Christian that were supposed to be home games for them. So that's just part of the age we live in. It's almost like Lance's Krebs spots up for a 3 that goes long. Hit the top of the backboard, that'll go to the Eagles, but it's almost like you just got to get through it. And sometimes your spurt comes early, sometimes late, sometimes middle. And hopefully for both these programs to hear, they both have had some COVID issues. Maybe they've gotten through the worst. It's just a matter now of their opponents being able to play.
Absolutely, and you want to put any kind of stretch of games together. You're tired of practicing. You're tired of practicing the same team and then sitting and then quarantine. All that stuff you're tired of. But it's just the new normal for right now until things change. So for both of these teams, if they can get 3-4 games in a row without cancellations, that'll be a nice rhythm that they can get into.
3 try is down for Hazel Fui.
Second 3 of the game already for her.
And she was just 1 for 2 from downtown coming in. So 8-5 our score. Chadron State on top on that Fooey 3. Bounce pass to McGinley. Hesitation through the lane. Nice scoop shot as she works it around Fooey. Griffins back to within 1 at 8-7.
Yeah, McGinley having a great start. Those first 2 games really getting off to a season start with shooting over 50% from the field and a nice interior post move. So she's been doing it from outside and inside right there. Pet peeve of mine, I'm not sure why the officials didn't fix the net. Sorry. Habit.
I agree.
Yep, now they saw it.
Yep.
So it's a new net. I know it sounds crazy, but that is actually a new net. It's a little bit longer than the others, and that's the official in me coming out. I apologize.
Well, you can look at the net to our left and the one to our right. It's obvious. It is sparkling white new.
Yeah, or maybe they only washed one.
Well, there you go.
No, it's definitely a new net, and it seems
tighter.
a little bit longer. So
yep.
It'll be interesting to see if that happens again. But
so that's been taken care of with the stoppage. Mangum curls around the angle right. Abby Mangum with the bucket, her first tonight. The Griffins a 4 of 5 start from the floor. Chadron State 3 of 4 to start this one.
A nice move by Mangum there. Not necessarily known for guard skills. When she first showed up here to Westminster, really worked on that. And that's a good sign for the Griffins if they can get offensive production from her off the dribble.
Vaughn trying to 3, won't go for Fooey. Putback attempt is down for Taryn Foxon, a senior guard from Aurora, Colorado, Cherokee Trail High School, and she has Chadron State in front by 1 at 10-9.
Yeah, that rebounding that we talked about, Mike, in play right there as Fox gets the offensive rebound and putback. Any points they can get that way is a plus for Chadron.
That one just won't go for Krebs. Mangum with the rebound. Cross court to Mariah Martine. She'll try to float that one up from the baseline left, 8 feet away, won't go. Chance now for the Eagles to pad a 10-9 lead with 5.5 to play first quarter. Right corner, Hinkle back up top now. And as Fooey makes her move, a foul call goes against the Griffins. It's on Sarah McGinley. Her first. That's our first foul of the game. Lindsey Rich, 6'1", redshirt junior from Moreland, Wyoming, is off the bench for the Griffins. Rich transferring from Black Hills State. You know, getting back to Abby Mangum, she came in last year after some time at BYU and just hadn't played a whole lot during her career at BYU. Took her some time to sort of get her playing feel back a little bit, adjust to the game at this level. And I talked to her late in the year. It's now 12-9 in favor of Chadron State on that Foxen jumper. Rebound here comes to Krebs. She'll turn and call for travel, but Abby really felt good about things late in the year. As you mentioned, Lance, it just took her a bit when she got here to develop some skills and work on some things, but had a good close of the year, and I'm looking for a good season from Abby.
Yeah, absolutely. She's an athlete, multi-sport athlete in high school, had a great career, comes from an athletic family with ties to BYU football and Tanner Mangum and such, so definitely going to rely on her athleticism, and she showed it on that first drive. So,
and a bank shot there by Brittany McCulley. It's a 6-0 run now for Chadron State. They were down 9-8. Griffins have not scored in some time.
Yeah, a couple turnovers for the Griffins out of last possessions of travel and then throwaway. So need to get themselves together as the and one opportunity inside for recently checked in Lindsey Rich.
That stops a drive about 2 minutes and 20 seconds for the Griffins. So a chance for a three-point play when we come back. Timeout on the floor. 4:23 to play first quarter from Bankin. For Chadron State, that's her first, team's first, so not many whistles in the early going in this one. With 4:23 left in this first quarter, Mike Lagashow, Lance Barton with you on a Saturday. Just good to be at the gym for some basketball.
Absolutely, and both of these teams actually starting the game very well, playing smooth basketball. We've had a few turnovers from the Griffins end, but both teams getting their offensive sets going and shooting at a pretty good clip so far to start this contest.
So that three-point play by Rich brings the Griffins back to within 2 at 14-12. Nearing the 4-minute mark of our first quarter, hesitation and a drive by Hazel Fooey gets the roll. She has been busy early on. Hazel Fooey now with 8 points, shooting 3 of 4 from the floor. She's knocked down a couple threes as well. And Chadron State back in front by 4 at 16-12.
Yeah, Chadron has an inside move missed there by McGinley. Rich with the rebound, but Chadron shooting 7 of 9 start this opening quarter. 5 of 9 for the Griffins. So both teams shooting well, but Chadron on fire start the contest.
So that'll be a kicked ball, and the shot clock is set to 20 seconds. Griffins came in shooting 52% from the floor this year, allowing just 35 through their first 2 games as Martine gets hung up at the angle right. Chadron State came in shooting just 35%, giving up 38% through their first 4. Rich inside, turns and faces, gets the roll.
That's 2 good inside interior moves by Rich, who plays inside very well. She slows down and isn't in a hurry. So 2 good interior post moves by Rich early in this quarter.
I know Shelley Gerard was excited to get her with the transfer from Black Hill State. On the drive, reverse layup won't go for Mariah Martine. But Rich coming from Black Hill State, McGinley from Colorado Christian. Mariah Martine came last season from Dixie State. Some impactful transfers for Shelley Gerard's crew is Taryn Foxon. Drives in and finishes. 18-14 our score, back to a 4-point lead for the Eagles.
Yeah, Fox and Fooey offensively on fire to start this contest.
Offensive board for McGinley. They'll find her in the corner, drives in, flips it up, came up short. McGinley outreaches Fooey for the rebound. Shot clock at 14. Mangum tip ball to Rich. She'll turn and face, floats it up. That's pretty tough to stop. Lindsay Rich at 6'1", a nice pivot to face and scores it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone watching interior moves, those are 3 solid interior moves at a good pace. And fortunately for Rich, all 3 have gone. There's an air ball there by Foxon.
First look at Caitlin Okerlund for us tonight. Junior guard from Richfield High School. That's down in Lance Barton territory.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, just down the street comes up from Richfield. We've had a few players from Richfield grace the Westminster presence. So
and another bucket for Lindsay Rich. Going to work down low tonight. She ties her game at 18. 1:23 left in this first quarter. Foxon deals into paints. Tatum Peterson gets the roll. Tatum Peterson, her first buckets. Redshirt sophomore forward from Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Griffins down by 2. Jumper won't go for Martine. Chance here for the Eagles. Final minute of this first quarter to extend a 2-point lead.
Yeah, so far solid basketball by both these teams offensively, getting the stuff that they want. I'm sure both head coaches would like to see a little bit more tightening of the screws at defensive end, but they're just executing well. As another bucket goes, this time a fall away. I love the interior play. I'm not going to complain about that. It's solid by both of these teams, getting the ball inside.
4 points now for Peterson. Final 30 seconds of this first half. 5-second difference, game clock to shot clock as we wind it down to 13 to shoot. Okerlund drops it down, McGinley. And reaching across was Rachel Hinkle. But it will be.
Calling it a jump ball there. We had some differing opinions by the two officials. One looked like it was going to maybe go with the foul, one with the violation, but it was primarily in the lead spot. So the right official had the play. She saw a jump ball there by McGinley's turnaround. So Chadron with the chance to end the quarter with a shot here.
As they lead by 4. Down to 4 seconds. Foxen. Tip ball taken away. McGinley, no chance to get a shot away. But a good defensive stand for the Griffins to end our first quarter. Westminster at 1 point led 9-8. Ever since then, it was a 14-9 run by Chadron State. Both teams shot well in the first quarter. Chadron State a blistering 71%, going 10 for 14 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3. The Griffins at 44%, 8 for 18 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. And our top scorers, Lindsey Rich with 9 points, leads everyone. And for Chadron State, Hazel Fui with 8 points, leads away for the Eagles. After 1 quarter in Salt Lake, it's the Eagles over the Griffins, 22-18 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network.
Might just go. Him. Obviously, he's not there anymore.
For our second quarter, 22-18, Westminster trailing Chadron State. The Eagles shot 71% in that first quarter. Our top scorers, Hazel Fui, for the Eagles with 8 points. Paces their effort, Lindsey Rich with 9 points off the bench for the Griffins. Westminster first possession of our second quarter. Nice floater on the drive in by Kaylee Carlson.
Yes, another solid move inside. Both guards and bigs getting to the rim from both of these teams. It's a good mix of inside and out play for these offenses so far.
McGinley in good position, and then an errant pass down the floor as they tried to find Abby Mangum. They did a good job to get down the floor. The pass was a bit high and out of bounds. We'll give it back to Chadron State. Going back to Kaylee Carlson, I know last year with the influx of new players, she was a holdover, and Shelley Gerard said she just had a hard time sort of finding her role with this new lineup and had a good close to the season. She's averaging 9.5 points a game to start the year, knocking down 3 of 8 threes. A little bit more like the Kaylee Carlson we were used to seeing before last season.
Yeah, that's never easy when you have a transfer, a lot of changes, and your role changes a little bit. So it's good to have her back.
3 won't go by Okerlund. Weeside rebound taken by McGinley. Okerlund up front. Shot clock at 8. To Mangum. She'll drop it down to Krebs. Good poke away from behind by Peterson. Two-point lead for Chadron State. Little 2-3 zone look here by the Griffins. Ross goes down to Peterson, bobbled it, shot clock at 7. Ross with 5 seconds goes right side. Jumper won't go for Henkel. And the Griffins with it. Carlson gets the screen from Krebs. Krebs left alone, can't do that. That one spins out. Krebs just 1 of 2 from 3-point range this year, but has been excellent from the outside during her career.
Good effort there by Mangum getting after the offensive board. We saw her after giving up an offensive board on the defensive end. She has been much more active and flying around. That one earning the foul call with her effort. So that's what she brings to the table, the athleticism, quickness, and she does get after it on the rebounding from both offensive and defensive sides. So
rare miss there by Lindsay Rich. She had a 4-for-4 start to tonight with 9 points. 22-20, Chadron State on top, and Rich hits the deck.
We call block on Rich there.
Yep.
Good move by Fui going to the baseline, just wasn't quite ready for that quick drive. So only the third foul called in this game so far.
Jumper just inside the three-point line by Hazel Fui.
Have you ever heard a coach yell, "Great shot, why weren't you scoot further back?" If you're in a foot within the three, as a coach, you're wondering why you couldn't have got that foot a little bit behind the line, but you'll take it right now.
And she was wide open, had plenty of time to take that step back. Basket by Krebs. Griffins back to within 3 at 25-22. Under 7 minutes to play first half. 3 ball is down. Jory Peters, 5'4" junior guard from Mitchell, Nebraska, gets it to go. 28-22 in favor of Chadron State.
Yeah, I think they have the score wrong there on the board.
Lindsay Rich, another bucket for her. She goes into double figures.
Rich having herself a nice stretch inside, bumping up to 8 points now.
So 28-24 our score, 6:20 to go in this first half. From the right side, won't go for Rachel Hinkle. Martine, no one stopped her progress. She just kept on going. Motors down the right side and scores it. That timeout called by Chadron State head coach Janet Raymer. And we'll step aside as well. 6:06 to play in the half. Chadron State up by a deuce on Westminster on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. In the second stanza, but Chadron State still shooting 60% for the game at 12 for 20. They've knocked down 3 of 8 threes. The Griffins 48% overall and just 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. Missed there by the Eagles. Rebound goes to Hunter Krebs. Griffins, as they corrected the score, Lance was all over it. There was a made 2. There was a foot inside the line. They had up on the boards at 3 and said it was a deuce, so it was 27-26, and now the Griffins jump in front 28-27. Inside, won't go for Henkel. So Lindsay Rich, that last bucket for the Griffins, and another strong drive, Mariah Martine. Second time in the last 2 or 3 minutes where she has just taken the ball and been undeterred on her drive to the buckets. 8-0 run here by the Griffins to jump in front, 30-27. Another one. Rims out for Chadron State. So they have gone cold after a very good start back in the first quarter. They've gone almost 2 minutes without a field goal.
Yeah, both teams cooling off a little bit. The Griffins going to a little run of their own, as you mentioned, Mike. But Chadron definitely that hot start, shooting above 70%. Didn't think it'd last all game, but still both teams playing well. You know, a few turnovers here and there, but for the most part, good basketball inside out. We've been seeing interior play, and that's one thing that Shelley, you know, is desperately needed is a much more of a scoring presence inside, so that they can stretch the floor a little bit and have opportunities for their shooters.
Good defense by Hunter Krebs. Stood her ground and right to the cross. Took it away from Fui. McGinley to Krebs. Krebs hesitates, drives off the window. Looked good until it just fell off. Won't go for Rich.
Looked like maybe there's some contact there inside, but Rich still got a good look off the offensive rebound. So both Krebs and Rich playing together is a bigger lineup than the Griffins have had in a while.
Well, the officials have let them play the entire night. Just 2 fouls called this entire contest, and we have under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Shot clock down to 7. Foxen kicks in the corner. 3 ball. Too long by Peters. And the drought continues for Chadron State. Over 3 minutes now without a field goal. McGinley takes a little bump from Peterson. Good no call. McGinley scores it to make it 32-27. And a timeout called by Janet Raymer. 3:30 to play. First half from Benton. The Griffins are on top by 5 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network.
They need to update the team fouls too, right? It's 2-1 team fouls. Westminster has 2.
Oh, yeah, you got Rich and you got McGinley.
What's that?
Without a printout, I don't know. Mine shows the quarter.
Okay. I think it is. I think it's 2-1.
You're right. Yep.
Ready?
And as a result, the Griffins have jumped in front by 5, 32-27. Mike Lagashow, Lance Barton with you on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Great to have you with us for a Saturday night of RMAC basketball. Men's play coming up at about 7:30 Mountain Time. Same 2 schools. Corner 3 ball is down for Jory Peters. And that stops that long drought for Chadron State, and that comes out of the timeout called by Janet Raymer. So good timeout by Raymer to settle things down, gets a good set in the half court for her team. And despite the long drought, they come back within 2 for just a moment, but Kaylee Carlson from Smithfield, Utah, Skyview High School knocks down the 3. Carlson with her second field goal tonight, first from beyond the arc. She is 2 for 2 to start the night. Griffins on top by 5 one more time. Another miss by Chadron State. They are just 3 for 13 from the floor in this second quarter. Martine uses a McGinley screen. Pulls up for the jumper and nails it. Looked like she might go back to McGinley there for a moment, but McGinley stayed where she was, and good read there by Martine to just step over, take the jumper, and the Griffins down front by 7.
Yeah, great job by Martine, taking what the defense gave. She was looking to pass. Had the wide open jumper. You're going to take that shot all day from the elbow.
Mangum passes up the jumper. McGinley terminates her drive, now goes down to Mangum, who's out front to Carlson. Carlson knocks down one more 3.
And the Griffins playing phenomenal offensive basketball right now, sharing the ball, going inside out, not being selfish. And that gives them their biggest lead.
Another miss by Chadron State, another rebound for the Griffins. Westminster out-rebounding Chadron State 21-7. In this first half, they lead by 10.
That's what you mentioned in pregame, Mike, is rebound disparity coming back to haunt Chadron a little bit. So Griffins continue to attack both offensive and defensive glass.
How much of a difference does Lindsey Rich make? 13 points, 6 rebounds in this first half as Chadron State gets a bucket to fall.
Yeah,
much
Maloof,
needed.
Peterson with the elbow jumper there to slow the Griffins down. No, having Rich in is huge. She's obviously played well in the post, but rebounded. And it allows McGinley, who is naturally a guard, and Mangum, who's naturally a guard, to play out in more guard situations. And so with both Rich and Krebs in the game, that allows Shelly Gerard to mix up her lineups and play a little bit bigger. And that's very apparent on the rebound side for the Westminster right now.
Well, clearly they want some help for Hunter Krebs last year. McGinley gave them a little bit right there, but at 6 feet compared to Rich at 6'1", and just a little bit more solid from a frame standpoint inside.
Correct.
And she is just maneuvering around people left and right here for the Griffins in this first half.
Yeah, she is definitely a true interior post, where McGinley is more of an outside guard first that's had to play because of situation inside. Obviously, McGinley does a good job on the glass, but having Krebs and Rich really gives depth interior-wise for Coach Gerard.
Shot clock at 6. Long three on the way. How about that, Megan Ross? Sophomore guard from Sealing, Nebraska, bails them out, lays shot clock, and gets one to go. Down to 4 seconds on the drive in. Fold it up, score it. Martine on the drive, and a great end to the first half for the Griffins. Westminster was down by 5 at 27-22 at 1 point. They had a 10-0 run as part of this great close to the first half of play.
Yeah.
But they outscore Chadron State 22-8 to close out this first half.
Yeah, the roles switched a little bit as Chadron came out to a lightning fast, hot start, shooting well above 70% from the floor towards the middle part and towards the end of that first quarter. And then the Griffins got on their hot streak and really closed out this half with really good basketball, moving the ball inside out. They clamped down and didn't give up any more offensive rebounds in the last 5 minutes of that second quarter from what I have. So Westminster, great job bouncing back and staying the course. But both teams playing good basketball right now. Westminster just on a hotter streak.
Chadron State shot 71% in the first quarter. The Griffins at 44%. Westminster heated up. Second quarter going 12 for 19, 63%. They did knock down 2 of 6 threes. Chadron State shot just 31%, 5 of 16 in that second 10-minute period. They went 3 of 7 from 3 in the second quarter. So for the half, Westminster outshoots Chadron State 54-50%. The Griffins go 3 of 11 from beyond the arc. Chadron State 5 for 12, but the rebounding story lands 23-8 in favor of the Griffins.
Yeah, and if Westminster, I think if they don't have a couple of those turnovers in the first quarter, I think that they stay on the pace they had. I think that really threw them off. And the fact that Chadron came out guns a-blazing, was on fire. But once things settled down, you saw the Westminster Griffins offense of that inside-out play really take a toll. And Chadron continued to shoot the threes. They were missing. They weren't getting any second-chance opportunities, and Westminster took advantage. So a good half of basketball. You don't, if you're Chadron coaching staff, you don't love the way it ended, but you love the way it started. So you're going to try and replicate that and see if you can bounce back. Still a close enough game, and in the way Chadron scored it, it's still not over yet, obviously.
Westminster, 2 players in double figures. Lindsey Rich off the bench tonight with a game-high 15 points, 6 rebounds in the first half. She shot 7 of 9 from the field. Mariah Martin, good close to the first half, 11 points. 3 assists for her, 8 points by Kaylee Carlson, who knocked down 2 threes in the final minutes of the first half of play. Sarah McGinley, 4 points, also 4 points and 6 boards for Hunter Krebs. And for Chadron State, 1 player in double figures, Hazel Fooey, who knocked down 2 of 3 threes with 10 points in that first half. 8 points by Jory Peters and 6 from Tatum Peterson. So the Griffins again end the first half on a 22-8 run. They lead here at the break, 44-35. We'll step aside for about 10 minutes and come back with our second half. From Bacon Fieldhouse in Salt Lake, the Griffins are on top of Chadron State at the half, 44-35 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network.
I've got to respond to all of my shit-talking friends. The Seahawks. They didn't say a word when they beat them at the end of the regular season, but
Now they're all talking.
honestly, this is a trap game for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I know they played well.
silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes I've been flying from town to town, from London. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
And we are ready for the second half. Westminster and Chadron State. Mike Lagashow, Lance Barton with you on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. The Griffins end our first half of play on a 22-8 run, Lance. We talked about the rebound discrepancy at the break. 23-8 in favor of the Griffins. They got some good production from Lindsay Rich with 15 points and 6 rebounds. Your keys to our second half.
Well, if you're Westminster, continue the inside-out play with their offensive sets. If you're Chadron, you have got to protect the paint. You've got to do a better job of being able to help inside and stop drives. That's the start. As the ball has gotten in through pass or the drive, Westminster's kind of gotten what they want the last 7 minutes of the half. So Chadron defensively definitely needs to take care of the paint.
Now the Griffins outscoring Chadron State 30-10 in the paint so far tonight. Missed jumper by Chadron State. Run out for Mangum came up short. Rachel Henkel the rebound. So our top scorers in the game, Lindsay Rich with 15 points to go with 6 rebounds. Mariah Martin with 11 points and 3 assists. And for Chadron State, Hazel Fooey, 10 points. 8 points by Jory Peters. And we are still scoreless in this second half.
Yeah, Fooey getting another look. She started the game off hot, looking to get back.
Outside Carlson, who knocked down a couple threes late first half. Won't go on that try. Krebs battling inside against Fooey, and Fooey wins that battle.
Yeah, so both teams starting with some misses. Settling down probably into a rhythm of what we're going to see the rest of the half, but open looks again. So offensively, both teams getting decent shots throughout this game. Westminster just happened to get on fire towards the end of that half while Chadron cooled off significantly.
Shot clock down to 5. Fooey has it raked away inside. Mangum with the theft. Martine puts her head down, drives left side, gets cut off that time, and goes to Krebs. We saw Martine late in that first half a couple of times just to put the ball on the floor and no one stepped in front of her.
Yeah, Martine does a phenomenal job as an interior pass there, and Krebs will go into the left hand, so she had sealed and got tremendous position and good find. I think one of the things that Coach Gerard said towards the end of last season with Martine is sometimes she bounces the ball too much. She'd get inside, didn't have anything, and then she'd dribble out and she'd still have. And so far in this game, and a little bit of the other games that I watched in December, she's doing a much better job of getting to where she needs to. Once she gets stopped, she's able to find the open teammate. So we've seen that in this game from Martine.
Good defense by McGinley. Stays in front of Henkel. They force a pass down low off the hands of McCulley out of bounds. So Lindsay Rich comes in the game for Abby Mangum as Griffins go a little bit bigger here. Krebs will stay in. McGinley stays in. And again, it's Rich for Mangum.
I think Coach Gerard thought Mangum was hurt. She just asked her, "Are you okay? It looked like you were hurt. I thought maybe you were even crying," and they kind of laughed it off. So I think that Rich sub was we're worried about. It's another inside move by Krebs, going back to the left hand.
Got our defender to fall down behind her. That might explain it. I thought that's, I like that size combination. It worked very well in that first half to go big with Krebs and McGinley. And Rich playing all 3 of them, but you're right, that may have been precipitated by the thought that Mangum was injured and they subbed her out instead.
Yeah, one of the benefits of moving us down here, even off the scores table, we actually get a decent advantage and nobody here you kind of see. And you saw the concern as a steal there for the Griffins. You saw the concern in Coach Gerard's face and the relief after she found out that she was fine.
Rich runs the floor, missed that look. Well, this Griffins team, lots of familiar faces back from a year ago, and this team picked to finish 3rd in the RMAC this year. Colorado Mesa picked to win it. Western Colorado 2nd, Westminster 3rd ahead of Colorado Mines. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Third quarter from Bankin, 6:44 left. Griffins on top of Chadron State by 13 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. series. All of the last 4 games decided by 10 points or more, and the Griffins in command here with 6:44 to play third quarter, 48-35. Mike Lagashow, Lance Barton with you from Bankin Fieldhouse. Lance, your thoughts on how things have started in this second half?
Sure, you look at the numbers a little bit, and Westminster obviously only points in the half so far with a couple of inside buckets, but they did not go away from what got them the lead back, and that's going inside first. And the bigs are with Rich and Krebs taking advantage of their size so far.
Three-pointer won't go for McKelly. Offensive rebound to Hinkle. Nowhere to go. She'll kick it back outside. Shot clock down to 10. Ross rifles a pass right side to Hinkle. Pivots, passes. Trying to thread the needle down low was Peters trying to find McCulley. Griffins can't convert the other way as it goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Griffins, but no chance for a fast break.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Mike, too, last year with kind of a short bench for the Griffins, only 6 getting significant minutes, for Coach Gerard. This is a deeper team. They're going to play 8, possibly 9, but 8 for sure. That's allowing this Griffins team to be more aggressive on defense, at least in this game, as Krebs hits the 3 from the outside, so she can do it both inside and out. But I've noticed that the Griffins playing much tighter and much more aggressive defense. So hopefully with some more bodies that can contribute, the Griffins can improve their defense, which is, I know, always on Coach Gerard's mind.
Carlson got a piece of that shot from Ross as we go the other way. McGinley, 3-ball in transition, won't go. Still staying with it inside. Rich wills that one off the glass. And how about this? Chadron State has not scored this entire second half. All 9 points going to the Griffins. They lead 53-35 as they open things up. Another miss, that one by Peterson.
Yeah, Chadron, the Eagles look disjointed right now, not quite sure where to go, as they were used to kind of getting some shots to fall, and now they're not. As that 3, Krebs with the heat check, rattles out, but Chadron trying to look anywhere to get a bucket to just break the seal.
They are 0 for 7 in this second half. Finally get a 3-ball to go down at the 4:45 mark.
A much needed bucket for the Eagles. The lead had jumped out for Westminster to 18. Now sitting at 15, but.
So Foxen with the 3-ball makes it 53-38. 4:25 left in this third quarter. Ross. Peters now back outside to Foxen. Too long off the window. Rebound goes to Rich. The Griffins, no numbers, but a pull-up jumper is good for Mariah Martine. We got a foul.
Yeah, I got McKinley on a rebound push, which was the right call. I saw it. She's trying to go hard to get the offensive rebound. She actually kind of lost her balance a little bit and just ran into the player, but the bucket will be good for Martine.
So Mariah, excuse me, Lance.
No, I was just going to say, so unfortunate when you're tired like that, you run into it, but the bucket still counts for Martine.
That gives her 11 points. The Griffins in command here at Bankin 55-38 over Chadron State on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Pretty good looking team she's got. As you mentioned, a little bit Griffins in command, 55-38, 4:05 to play in this second half. Hard to believe the Griffins were down at one point back in the second quarter. They trailed 27-22. They ended the first half on a 22-8 run. It's been all Westminster since then, as they now lead 55-38. Scramble for the rebound. Stays with Chadron. Down low, they go to Hazel Fui. And that's just their second bucket since halftime.
Yeah, good hustle play, and that's what you need if you're Chadron. You got to get some easy ones, and that was one where they got the offensive rebound, found Fui inside, but Rich doing what she's done all game, just answering back, being steady, that inside presence.
Took a pretty good shot on the shot attempt. Stayed with it, got to go. Great defense as we come the other way for Lindsay Rich.
If you're Westminster here, sorry, Mike, you do not need to rush. Obviously, you want to continue to be aggressive, and you never want to take your foot off the gas pedals. A nice give and go as McKinley finishes that layup, but you don't want to rush into anything. You were getting pretty much whatever you wanted. And continue that pace that you had.
Ross with the missed jumper there. Griffins with another rebound. They have the edge on the boards, 31-15 in this one. Carlson holds right side, goes to Martine. Shot clock down to 15. Mangum, Carlson, McGinley now. 9 to shoot. Martine, good cut to the left block, a catch and a foul on Chadron State. Foul goes against Brittany McCulley. That's her second. Hunter Krebs back on for the Griffins in place of Sarah McGinley. But Lance made a great point about just how one player can impact the lineup so much. One, it gives the Griffins some more depth. We saw late in the season last year that depth or lack of really caught up to the Griffins down the stretch. But you take Lindsay Rich, now all of a sudden, as you said, Sarah McGinley, more of a natural guard, slides outside where she's so effective. Hunter Krebs was happy to have some depth, but now she gets some help as well down low. And just the addition of one true post player in Lindsay Rich impacts two others who can now play at their more natural positions. They've got some more depth, some more fouls to give inside, and this is a pretty good-looking Westminster team we're watching right now.
Yeah, so far so good, and they, a lot of hopes were high for Coach Gerard going into the season, and a couple pickups they had as far as a roster addition. As Rich is called there, got up in the air, Fui with a nice shot fake. Foul called on Rich, but like we mentioned, it impacts the entire team because now Coach Gerard can game plan differently. You maybe don't play zone as much to give your team a break because they have to, you have to make sure that your energy is equalized. But yeah, they're looking good so far in this first game we've seen them live.
Hunter Krebs has it raked away out of bounds. So the Griffins just playing their third game tonight. They had a couple postponements back in early December as they had COVID in their program, and a whistle as Martine turns the corner.
We're going to look at the shot clock here, try and get that reset. So we had about 6 or 7 seconds go off.
Griffin basketball 19.
So they run the shot clock down to 19.
It's a very fast 11 seconds.
Rich left it short. Martine stays with it.
Another hustle play by the Griffins.
Good look to Rich. Nice recovery by Fui until she committed the foul. That's her first.
Going back to McGinley, Mike, she is a matchup problem too. Not because she has the post experience and has it from last year, but she's good enough outside that she can shoot the three. She can go off the bounce. So if you have a smaller guard guarding her, okay, put her inside. We're going to post. Yeah, a bigger post player on her. Now she can get outside and take that post player off the dribble. So having herself a pretty good season to start in these first couple games, and it'll be fun to see how the Griffin women utilize that extra size as we've mentioned.
Under 2 minutes left in this third quarter. The Griffins in command, 61-40. Just 5 points scored since halftime by Chadron State. Long jumper won't go for Megan Ross. Old board tracked down. Jumper from the left side by Foxon. can't find its way home and out of bounds to the Griffins.
Yes, the Eagles gone cold, unfortunately for them. They've actually got some good looks. They've gotten some offensive rebounds. Just the shots that were falling for them, or especially in the first quarter, have not fallen late in the second quarter and into this third quarter.
Nice drive by Abby Mangum, maneuvering through traffic and scores it off the window. Yeah, Chadron State back in that first quarter, knocking down 10 of 14 shots from the floor. In this third quarter, just 2 for 14 before that one goes down. Bailey Brooks, junior guard from Douglas, Wyoming, scores it to make it 63-42. Under a minute to play, third quarter. On the drive in, scoop up shot by Martine.
Yeah, great job setting up, looking like you're going to use that on-ball screen to the top, and she went away with a little hesitation move. That's a heady point guard move right there by Martine. Is a three answered by Foxen.
Boy, nice curl to the top of the key. Jumper made by Taryn Foxen. 63-45.
Less than a second separation. The Griffins will hold for the final shot.
I'm sorry, 65-45 our score. 1 second difference, game clock to shot clock. Martine gets hung up. Puts it on the deck, finds Rich. Defense recovers. Rich stays with it. Out-muscles everyone else around her. Rich now with 22 points. And that's the end of our third quarter. Lindsay Rich, 10 for 14 from the floor, a double-double already with 22 points and 10 rebounds. Mariah Martine with 16 points, 4 boards, 5 assists. Hunter Krebs, 11 points and 6 rebounds. Carlson with 8 points. And for Chadron State, 2 players in double figures. Taryn Foxen with 12 points and 5 assists, 12 points as well for Hazel Fui, who has been a bit more quiet in this second half. We head to the fourth quarter. Griffins on top 67-45 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Team 58%. They're up to 55.6 now for the game. Chadron State just 4 of 19 from the floor since halftime. They are shooting 38% for the game. They knocked down 7 of 23 pointers, but the Griffins a commanding edge on the boards, 36-17. And Chadron State, long offensive droughts in that third quarter. They had a couple buckets go late to make it look better than it was, but they were stuck on 35 and 40 points for a long time. They now trail 67-45 as we head to the fourth quarter. And Martine gets a hand on Jory Peters as she had the jumper on its way from the left side. First team foul in this fourth quarter. First on Martine tonight. Free throw goes for Peters. That's the first free throw attempt tonight by Chadron State.
Yeah, we were just mentioning that in the little break there in the timeout. So not getting to the line because they haven't necessarily relied on drives to the basket and forced the Griffins' hand. They've shot a ton of jump shots, and that's what happens. So probably want to continue to try and get to the bucket off the drive as a turnover, trying to force the ball inside there to Krebs.
Now Krebs defended well there by Hazel Fui. Westminster playing just his third game of the season. They come in 1-1 into this one as that one is scored by Bailey Brooks. Brooks tonight for Chadron State. Now with 4 points. Carlson in transition. 3-ball won't go. McGinley tracks it down out front. Chadron State comes into this one 0-4. And they trail here by 18. Martine muscles her way down the left alley. Mariah Martine for Westminster, now 18 points. 8 of 12 from the floor in this one. They come in a double. Brooks and force the miss. Rebound to Westminster. Martine pull-up jumper inside the free throw line.
And that's about the 4th time we've seen that, Mike. She's made 3 of them. And if you're Chadron, you got to stop the ball, whether you're a big or guard, whether that's your man or not. You have got to stop that ball, as they're going to get Martine with the hand check there. Her second foul in the last couple minutes. You got to stop the point guard. Any guard that's running the break like that, you have got to pick them up well outside the three-point line. And Martine is taking advantage of it.
Timeout with 8:15 left from Bankin Fieldhouse. 71-49 Griffins over Chadron State on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network.
Remind me again, in the women's game,
Saturday, the men will be with them as well, and then they're back here to face Regis and Colorado Mines January 22nd and 23rd before they head back out for 4 straight games. So check it out on RMAC Sports.TV next weekend, and then back with us on January 22nd and 23rd for Regis and Colorado Mines. I'm sure there are fans who would love to be here, can't be. So thanks for checking us out on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Great to have you with us. Mike Lagashow, Lance Barton with you. Great to be watching live basketball here at Bankin Fieldhouse.
It is, and you'll count it as a win, as a nice block by Krebs, and actually win off out of bounds off of Peters. So great defensive play there. You know, I was talking to Shea Wyatt, the athletic director here at Westminster, before the game, and asking him about that situation. And you know, he said that their administration has policies, but they definitely are sticking with what the local health district and county here in Salt Lake are going to do. So it really is dependent on the county as a whole. So if you want to come watch, take the necessary steps to help curtail this issue we have going on, and hopefully maybe by the end of the year some fans can show up here to Bankin.
Yeah, everyone is hopeful. I know that the Maverick Center in West Valley City is allowing some fans for some events. In fact, they're having a gymnastics meet, the Best of Utah, tonight with the foreign state schools, allowing around 1,700 fans to come to that. The Jazz have allowed a small number. I know
Sure.
the Pac-12 has extended its no fans policy past January 1 for the next month. We'll see as we get towards February if maybe some family and friends can get into Pac-12 buildings. But that's where it is right now, is everyone's being cautious and just saying, you know what, it's easier just to say none as opposed to a select few. And And that's where we are here at Westminster as well. Shot clock at 7. Forced up a bit there by Brooks. Won't go either for Powers. And McGinley away with it for Westminster.
That's where that size comes into play. We've seen Krebs with a few blocks. McGinley now getting in the mix, getting a block from behind there. So she can use her guard skills when she needs to, as Martine with this gotten her pocket pick there by Peters.
So Jory Peters, I love her effort. We talked, Lance, about how at times Martine has just dribbled down the floor. No one picks her up. That time, Peters took it as a personal challenge, was all over Martine, and eventually forced him to a corner and got the steal.
Yeah, great job. Still a 20-point lead for the Griffins. But with this much time, as the foul's called there on Peters, getting a little too aggressive, you don't want to take your foot off the gas pedal, especially in your first game in a month. You want to get all that rust off, and you can only do that by playing hard.
Well, it has to be so tough as a coach, Lance, as the Griffins lead here by 20, 71-51 with under 7 left in this fourth quarter. How do you build momentum in a year like this? I mean, you can only practice about so much, and even, when you have COVID, practices impact us. Now as though they've been able to practice on a regular basis, either of these two teams with the COVID concerns, and the Griffins on the women's side losing 5 games already due to COVID-19 because of issues in their program and some others. But as a coach, especially if you're Chadron State, you're now 0-4 looking at going 0-5 as Krebs shakes loose down low and scores it. It's got to be so hard to try to learn from past mistakes, to work on things and get your team in a mindset, hey, we've got a game, let's get ready, let's get focused, because you might not, and it's such a stop and start. Hard to just build, I would think, as a coach to get your program and your players focused on what they have to do.
Well, and I would say, Mike, that's a great point, and it's amplified even more in the RMAC because you have such a long RMAC season, 20-plus games, 22, sometimes 23 RMAC games. So for these teams in the RMAC, your preseason is vital, right? To find the right matchups, to find your lineups, to find rhythm as a team and get all the new players involved. Nice kick out there by Martine. McGinley.
How nice was that?
Great move by Martine, who maybe last year may have shot that, to be honest. And that now she finds the open teammate in McGinley who knocks it down. I've been really impressed with the Griffins' offense in this game. But going back to that point, Mike, when 22 or 23 of your 26 allotted games or 27 allotted games are conference games, man, you need the preseason, and no one got it, really. And so it's so vital to be able to capitalize on games like this and having full squad practices. We talked about this earlier when the men were here, that they didn't get their first full squad practice until 2 days before they played BYU.
Norman Parrish, really a new team for his group this year. He really wanted some non-conference games, did not get them, but he's like, we're playing basketball, you just got to do it the best you can. And fortunately for Shelly Gerard, she's got a veteran group, and they have looked impressive tonight, up by 25 with 5:16 left on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. And everyone can come back next year.
Yeah, so I guess we'll either go full or 30 because no more media, so whatever they say, I think they went 30. I thought she had originally called a full. So remind me again, where are they at Friday? I think I have it backwards. Friday they're at CCU, then MS Denver. Okay, I had it the other way around. Gotcha.
Okay.
So CCU first. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's
ready.
Yep. 5:16 left from Bankin. The Griffins poised to go 2-1 and win their second straight. They have not played a game since December 18th. They have lost already 5 games due to COVID. The RMAC has said if you play 11, you're eligible for the postseason, so everyone just trying to get to that number. But this Griffins team picked 3rd preseason behind Mesa and Western Colorado. In fact, just 2 points between Western Colorado and the Griffins for 2nd and 3rd place. They've got a team that looks like they are ready to do something. If they can just get on the floor on a more regular basis, as Carlson has it taken away from Foxen, who stays with it and scores it. But this is a Griffins team, Lance, that if they can just get to March and survive this season, they've got a chance to have a really nice year for Shelley Gerard.
I think, yeah, that's the 15th foul on Peters.
So that's the second on Peters. Again, 15 foul.
15 foul. Sorry, I was wondering what they were doing. He kept saying 12, but yeah.
There's been so few fouls called in this game that
Yeah.
we haven't got even close to bonus in either the previous 3 quarters. So that will send Mariah Martine to the free throw line. Martine on the season, 1 of 2 at the line. But a better free throw shooter than that from what we've seen last season. Martine, 21 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Took care of business there as the Griffins now lead 78-53.
Yeah, Chadron is going to obviously try and find some positive things in this. And for them, they came out really kind of just free. Felt like they just were going to run and do their thing, and they hit shots, and they got the confidence going and momentum on their side. And then the Griffins kind of withheld their little bit of their run, made a run of their own, and then the Griffins really forced the ball inside. I think that was the difference maker, is they really pounded the ball inside. And Rich and Krebs were really taking advantage of that, getting some interior looks as the corner 3 misses. And so it really slowed the offensive prowess of the Eagles down. And the Westminster hasn't looked back since the midway through that second quarter.
In the lane, Taryn Foxen, and a foul on Westminster. Well, the Griffins all night doing a great job on the boards. They've almost doubled up Chadron State, 42-22.
At the line, shooting 1 is Taryn Foxen.
How about this stat, Lance? Points in the paint. The Griffins outdueling Chadron State 52-22 tonight.
Yeah, that will give you nightmares if you're a coach. Whether you're a big team or a guard-heavy team like Chadron is, you've got to be able to get the ball in the paint through the pass and dribble more often than that. But kudos to Westminster for taking advantage of their size.
78-56 on the three-point play by Taryn Foxen. Under 4 minutes left. We'll have men's play coming up at about 7:30 Mountain Time. Westminster against Chadron State. Krebs, a little contact as she turned and faced the rim. Came up short. Eagles down the floor in a hurry. 3:32 left in this one. Hesitation and a drive. Short on the effort by Bailey Brooks. Martine. Good vision up ahead to Manga, but nowhere to go with the pass. Good job by Chadron State to get back after the initial outlet pass from Martine.
Griffins looking to take some clock here with each possession as Shelley slows her team down. Corner 3 for Carlson.
She has found her rhythm tonight. 11 points for Carlson, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. 81-56. .247 to play. The key stretch in this game was back at the end of the first half. Westminster, a 22-8 run. They went from trailing 27-22 to leading 44-35 at halftime. They then came out, scored the first 9 points of the second half. At that point, they led 53-35, and they have been well in control of this game ever since then. So Shelley Gerard goes to the bench. Whitney Bands coming in. Kaylin Okerlund on as well for Westminster. We saw her a bit earlier, but she'll get some extended time now. Also, Sadie Anderson, sophomore guard from Rupert, Idaho, in the game for Westminster. Bands steps back. 3 ball is down. Freshman from West High School in Salt Lake City. How about that? Whitney Bands getting her first minutes as a collegian here tonight.
Hits her first shot. That's got to feel good. As the whole team mobs her with excitement. With the mask on, too. Good for her.
Welcome to the Collegiate C Whitney Bands. Hometown product again from West High School. So 2:10 left. Nice chance for Shelley Gerard to reward some people who give the effort in practice with some extended playing time in the final 3 minutes here.
Yeah, and you're going to need them because obviously this team is 4 senior starters and a redshirt junior. So going to have some turnovers. So you're going to need opportunities as much as you can to have these players coming in off the bench and getting some minutes. So,
although with eligibility frozen this year, some could come back. Now, whether they will, we'll see. You know, at this level, you get your degree. Sometimes it's hard to say I'm going to stick around and do one more year, but that option is out there for them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and we won't see it until the end of next year. What kind of numbers? How many student athletes at the NCAA level at all levels took advantage of that? How many prolonged? I'll be interested to see how that happens because I think at the Division I, big Power 5 level, you'll see a much higher percentage than you will, like you said, Mike, here at the Division II or Division III level. So either way, good to hit your first collegiate shot. I think I airballed my first one at Everett Community College. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did, but nonetheless, good for the Griffins to get a game under their belt, but also not only just that, to play really well, to play offensively at a very good pace, going inside and out, and really impressed with the combination of Krebs and Rich inside for Westminster.
Under 2 minutes left. Griffins are on top, 84-56. And Fui scores again. 15 points for her tonight. 84-58. Okerlund working on that right side with Maloof, who has come into the game as well. Emily Maloof, a 5'10 freshman, has it raked away by Foxen, tries to get it back, and is called for the foul.
That'll send the Griffins to the free throw line, the Chadron to the free throw line. 15 foul in the quarter.
So for Westminster, after tonight, just 6 home games left. They go to Colorado Christian next Friday at MSU Denver on Saturday. And here for Regis and Colorado Mines, January 22nd and 23rd. On road for 4 straight to Western Colorado, Fort Lewis, then to Mesa and South Dakota Mines on a split week. Back here for Adams State and CSU Pueblo, February 12th and 13th. Back to Mines and Regis the 19th and 20th, and then they'll wrap things up at home against Fort Lewis and Western Colorado.
So the path to 11 begins. They obviously getting their 3rd one in today. You got to have 8 more to be eligible, as you mentioned early in the broadcast, Mike. And that's the 3rd time we've seen interior player for Chadron go down. They finally got the offensive foul they're looking for. Didn't watch it all the way through, so I'm not sure, but they finally got one to go.
So 84-59 our score. The Griffins have outshot Chadron State tonight, 57-36%. Great start for Chadron State. They went 10 for 14 in the first quarter, but since then they have shot 32% or less in the following 3 quarters tonight. Whitney Bands with the personal foul, her first. 1:05 left in this one.
If you're Coach Raymer for the Eagles, as we get another sub from Chadron State coming into the game, you look at the tape on this, your first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the game in the first quarter, you're happy as can be. Incredibly happy. Shooting 70+%, not giving up offensive rebounds. You got the lead on the road. And then, unfortunately, things cooled off for them, and they weren't able to really get back into that rhythm. But like we mentioned before, I think the interior play and the Griffins slowing the game down at times by throwing it in the post really made a difference and actually got Chadron off of their fast start.
That's a great point, Lance. They lost to Colorado Mines 77-61. You come back on January 4th the next day. You have a competitive game against Regis, and then you have that good first quarter tonight. So obviously the things she's been talking about were listened to, and the players made the effort to make the adjustments. They just could not sustain it for the entire 40 minutes here tonight. But some positives nonetheless for Chadron State.
Yep, and I think if, like we said, if you're Coach Raymer and I'm on her staff, I'm suggesting that we continue to run and spot up and shoot, because that was what got them going in this game, is not letting the defense settle and getting open looks. So continue to push the ball if you're the Eagles. Try and use that hot shooting.
That one rolls down for Chadron State. Brooks with the buckets. And that will do it. Westminster had the edge at halftime, 44-35. They have a big third quarter. They win this one over Chadron State, 84-63.
Well, feels good to play basketball. Feels good to play it feels good to play good basketball. If you're Coach Gerard, you're happy with this effort. You're happy, I think, too, at times in that second quarter. Westminster really ratcheted up their defense. Their pressure and denying that easy catch on the wing really made a difference. They actually caused, I remember in about a 5-possession stretch, they caused 3 turnovers and had 2 almost near shot clock violations, which are almost as good as turnovers in the grand scheme of things. So I think their defensive effort in the second quarter helped, and then they really fell into that rhythm of inside out like we've mentioned a few times. So a great finish if you're Westminster, or a great start to this new year, and you'll take that W, especially in that manner, anytime you can.
So the Griffins improved to 2-1. Chadron State falls to 0-5. Final numbers in this one: the Griffins outshoot Chadron State 55-37%. Westminster 7 of 22 from long range, 5 of 7 at the line. Chadron State goes 7 for 20 from beyond the arc. They were 5 for 12 in that first half, then cooled off in the second half. Chadron State did not attempt the free throw until the fourth quarter. They go 6 of 7 at the line tonight. And rebounding, the Griffins with the edge there, 46-24.
Yeah, that was your point, Mike, and it made a huge difference. Offensive rebounds, 14 for Westminster, and that made a big difference. They had a lot of those in that second quarter as well. Some hustle plays. You had guards rebounding down, getting offensive rebounds. Martine having a stretch on her own where she was able to get penetration, hit some elbow jumpers. So a good mix, a good variety of ways to score for the Griffins and use their sides. But, Mike, we mentioned a few times on the air and off the air that we really liked the rotations that they had in different matchups. They went a little bit smaller and had success, and then they went big and had McGinley and moved Rich off the bench inside, and so Westminster with a good size advantage as well. So we'll see if they can utilize that and to keep that going during the RMAC season.
Individual numbers for both teams. First for Chadron State. They were led by 19 points from Taryn Foxen. Foxen 2 of 5 from the floor tonight with 8 assists and 3 rebounds. 15 points by Hazel Fooey. She really carried them at times in that first half. Fooey, again, 15 points, 3 rebounds tonight, knocking down 2 of 4 from long range. Jory Peters with 12 points, going 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. And for the Griffins, 4 players in double figures, led by 22 points from Mariah Martine. 22 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds for Martine tonight. Also for the Griffins, a 20-point night from Lindsay Rich. A double-double for her with 11 rebounds. And also in double figures for Westminster, Hunter Krebs with 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 block shots. And Kaylee Carlson knocking down 3 of 5 threes with 11 points tonight. But let's make a great point about this Griffins team in terms of where they can go. They can go big. They can go small. I think for the Griffins tonight, I was just wanting to watch them play some basketball after a long layoff. They had not played since December 18th, and some more cancellations this week. I wanted to just see how this team came out and played and really get a chance to watch them in person. And I think for a team that was picked third preseason in the RMAC, you can see why. But you talked about the versatility. That will serve them well, I think, the next couple of months as they work their way through this conference season.
Yeah, and Coach Gerard has had a history of great shooting here since she came. It started, Coach Gustin did a great job. and she continued that. They've had great shooters and really good guard play, right? Now you add this element of inside-out play, and you're putting yourself in a position that Coach Gerard really has some opportunity to take advantage of matchups. And the RMAC is a very guard-oriented Division II conference. However, there are some teams that traditionally, that are usually in the top there, Colorado Mesa being one of them, plays big and has big players, and they play a big lineup. So that's going to be huge for the Griffins down the stretch here. As long as they can continue to play games, I think they got a great chance to be in that top echelon, top tier of the RMAC. For Chadron, you learn from this. You go on. You were going to play next week, hopefully, and you accentuate the positive. And to me, like I said before, they need to continue to run and push the floor. Don't let defenses get settled, and try and push that tempo, because that was very successful for them in the first quarter of this game and in a couple of their other games. So a good win overall for Westminster. They got to keep the momentum going. It's got to feel great to, even though there's no fans here, to win at home is a great feeling.
And we hope the fans who normally would be here have enjoyed it on Griffins TV and the RMAD Network, as the Griffins again improved to 2-1 on the season. Chadron State falls to 0-5. The Griffins on the road at Colorado Christian next Friday, at MSU Denver next Saturday, then back here to face Regis and Colorado Mines January 22nd and 23rd. And in this COVID-19 era, they are cleaning the facility right now, the bench areas and the stands, as we see the AD, nonetheless, Shea Wyatt, getting to work. He's got a background in facility management from his days back at the U as he got started, but the entire staff here pitching in to clean the benches and get things ready for our men's game. So we'll have about a 20-minute warm-up when they're done with their cleaning duties here at the Bankin Fieldhouse, and we'll have men's play at about 7:30 Mountain Time. Final comments, Lance, before we wrap things up on the women's side tonight.
Well, I think what you'll see here for Westminster in their, from a coaching standpoint, they're going to review the most efficient times they had, that stretch in the second quarter and the beginning of third quarter. That ball went into the paint on multiple times in the same possession at times. So they would get it inside, kick out, and then drive. Or they would kick it in, and even the bigs, when they would miss, they would get offensive rebounds. So the ball lived inside, and we saw that with the disparity between paint points between these two teams. So huge differentiator, huge opportunity for the Griffins to take advantage on traditionally what hasn't been a post-dominated team with Coach Gerard. But this is an opportunity to have that, and, positives, all positives tonight overall for the Griffins.
So the Griffins up by 9 at the break. They blew it open to a 22-point margin after 3. They win this one 84-63 over Chadron State. Again, their top scorers, Lindsay Rich with a double-double of 20 points, 11 boards. Mariah Martin with 22 points and 7 assists. The Griffins improved to 2-1. Chadron State falls to 0-5. Men's play coming up in about 25 minutes. For Lance Barton, I'm Mike Lagish, our final score in women's play tonight from Bankin Fieldhouse on the campus of Westminster College in Salt Lake City. Westminster 84, Chadron State 63. Until next time, so long, everybody. What's our score here?